do. Sub if you new. Hey, what it do? Make the like button blue. Sub if you new.
Hello, salutations. What it do? Start the game. All five direct in the vibes like subscribe. Let's get it. We're back again. I was just about to take a break and hang out until the after show podcast later tonight, but then Suicide Squad went ahead and dropped some big news, so here we are again. We might be back, chat. We might actually be back. What's up, Civil J? What's up, PO? So I was literally reading, because I was, there's a lot of Suicide Squad discourse, rightly so, because nothing's been happening. And I was memeing about the Jay Shockblast video where he's basically telling Rocksteady, what the hell is going on? like do something. And then I saw that they dropped their dev blog for Friday, and I saw it getting some traction. So I'm like, okay, let me read some of this. So I started reading the update. And I'm like, are we back? Are we back? So I was like, instead of just making a video, I'm just gonna go live again because I just want to. I haven't gone live on the game in a while anyway, so we might as well go live and check it out. Is the game even fun? It's definitely fun. The central problem with Suicide Squad is not whether or not it's fun. It is. It's the fact that as a live service product, it's not very well run. The cosmetic offerings aren't very good and aren't updated very often, and there's not a lot of content. So once you go through the content, which is fun, except for most of the boss fights are poorly designed, particularly in in-game, you were like, okay, well, what's to do now? So that's been the key thing. But and that's aside from any bugs you might be having, but apparently finally listened to the community to some degree, because I was reading some of these updates. I'm like, oh, they're back. they're actually listening. Okay, so we're gonna go over all this. This is in the new update today. I didn't even finish reading it because I was like, I just want to react live to it. So we're gonna react in real time. We're doing it live. Okay, this is breaking news. Okay, so what's up? By the way, we're streaming on Twitch and YouTube once again. What's up, Dragon Blaze, over on the Twitch side? So in case you forgot or didn't know, season 1 is technically not over yet. Season 1, every season is divided into 2 parts. You have season 1, and then that starts with episode 1, that got us the Joker. And then season 1, episode 2, that's going to give us the Two-Face, the Black Manta, all that stuff, and some more missions. So they're dividing them up. And then they're roughly 6 weeks apart, and then you go into season 2. So the ideal order is going to be season 1, episode 1. We got that. Season 1, episode 2. Then we go into season 2, episode 1. That would be the release order. So season 2 will be in the summer, but episode 2 of season 1 is next month, which they confirmed. So we'll check this out. In this week's blog, we are going to show up some of the gameplay changes we have planned for episode 2. From looking at both our own internal data and from listening to community sentiment, we've worked on a series of improvements that we believe will make for a better experience in terms of hunting for new gear, fighting Brainiac's forces, and overall quality of life. Below is a list of several changes that we plan to implement when episode 2 releases next month. So once again, no delay. The game's not shutting down. Confirmation, episode 2 drops next month. So they're right on time. They said before launch, these would be 6 weeks apart. So it looks like they're going to be delivering on that with episode 2 dropping next month. So first is the Infamy Tier Rework. They said, let's talk Infamy Sets, notorious items, and loot rollout. Our intent with the distributing the Infamy Set tiers and notorious items across our mastery levels was to have a more gentle onboarding to the increasing complexity of the Infamy Sets and build configurations. The intent was basically that as you progress through the mastery levels, the content would get harder, but you would get Infamy Sets to counter that. And as long as you play into your build, you wouldn't really struggle until you hit higher mastery levels. Having the most build permutations happen at the later mastery levels meant that we didn't really get the build meta going until very late in our endgame, which left many players wondering where all that juicy build construction was hiding. With episode 2, we're turning that completely on its head. All Infamy Set tiers and notorious items will be possible to acquire starting at mastery level 1. You can still rely on the episode rank rewards to predictably and reliably give you all the loot the episode has to offer, but now you have a chance to get a tier 3 Infamy Set drop from mastery 1. That's big. So right off the bat, they're taking away a lot of the grind when it comes to getting the new set, all the new gear for when they introduce some new stuff with the new seasons and everything. So instead of having to farm and grind up the mastery ranks until you hit, 30 plus or whatever, in order to start getting those tier 3 sets straight from mastery 1, you'll have access to the whole loot pool, basically. So that is definitely a W right there. In addition to this, we're changing our philosophy when it comes to the Infamy Set tiers. Our original intent was that tier 1 was easiest to play, but also the lowest power potential, and tier 3 was the hardest to play, but had the highest damage potential. Of course, the way our mastery levels are balanced, at higher mastery levels, that meant that tier 3 was pretty much the only viable Infamy Set, except in the case of the Scarecrow set. The tier 3 is pretty much completely unnecessary. you only actually, tier 2 is actually the best of the Scarecrow set. And you realistically don't need tier 2 either. You literally just need one of the tier 1 and you're fine. But yeah, that's generally how it was last season. After the burn nerf. Our new philosophy is essentially to flatten the power difference between the tiers and create more space between the tiers and how much freedom they offer. In episode 2, each tier 1 Infamy Set will be designed around a few specific playstyles. Appreciate that follow takeoff. You'll see that 1 or 2 core mechanics are buffed, and keeping uptime on those buffs won't be a challenge. That means optimal tier 1 play will encourage you to master those specific core mechanics, and if you can handle that, you'll be able to reach damage outputs that were previously only possible with a tier 3 set. On the other end of the spectrum, tier 3 gear will be the most flexible in terms of core mechanics. Our goal is that you can leverage pretty much any playstyle using a tier 3 set. However, it will be the most complex Infamy Set when it comes to uptime. You have to use all your skills to keep the buffs going, but the payoff will be that you have more freedom in which core mechanics you use. Tier 2 sets somewhere in the middle. When episode 2 launches, we'll be watching closely to see how this new approach to Infamy Set is working. Stay tuned for more tweaks in the future. What's up, Eastwood? Yes, that is indeed Clint Eastwood. He is, at the very least, just as old as Clint Eastwood is. So we got to see how the stuff works in practice, but I like those changes to the Infamy Set right off the bat. All right, so this is the changes to master items. This is actually really good. With the flattening of the Infamy Set tiers, we want to make sure there's still something to chase in the later mastery levels. That's why we're introducing an additional 4 master grades for a total of 5 that Infamy and notorious items can drop with. Each grade will be more powerful than the last, and you can expect the highest, Master 5, to only drop from very high mastery levels. So I'm currently at mastery level like 150 something in the new season of of the Joker. And there's really no reason for me to do that other than just because. And, there you get a higher multiplier, but really there's no real incentive there. But now they're adding an incentive to get to those higher mastery levels, because now the master items will have different tiers themselves. So now, instead of just getting master items whenever, you'll get better quality master items the higher you push that mastery level. So that's pretty good. Corrupted items. One piece of feedback we've heard since launch is that players didn't have enough reasons to play the Mayhem missions after beating them for the first time. We think we have just the right reward for you to fight for. Introducing corrupted notorious items. These twisted pieces of gear have been subjected to the Elseworlds corruption, changing their unique augment to provide a warped and seriously powerful version of the weapon. Being able to build around these corrupted effects is a path to some of the highest power in the game. So corrupted notorious items will be very rare drops from the episode 2 Mayhem mission. But trust us, their power will be worth it. To give an example, we'll have to give you a peek at one of the upcoming notorious items in episode 2. Firefly's Firestorm. The standard version of this red hot grenade sets all enemies hit on fire and increases the radius of your next grenade by 50% for each enemy you burn, up to a maximum of 200%, which is a very good grenade perk. That sounds very good. The corrupted version turns up the heat even more. It burns every enemy hit, but instead of increasing the blast radius, the damage of your next grenade is buffed by 200% for each enemy you burn, up to a maximum of 1,000%. So that's insane. This is just a taste of the power you'll be able to harness with corrupted items if you're brave enough to face Brainiac to find them. So, I think Lejeune definitely was one of the ones who pitched this. The Mayhem missions, there's no reason to play them beyond that one time. So now you have not only a reason to play these missions because you could get these new corrupted gear items, but also you have reasons to play higher mastery levels because you have a chance at getting some of these higher mastery level items. So far, so good. Breaking down items for mission complete. This is a personal favorite of mine. We're really happy to announce that with the launch of episode 2, you'll be able to break down items straight from the bat pod drop in the mission. Okay, you appreciate their raid, my friend? Big shout out to you. We're really happy to announce that with the launch of episode 2, you'll be able to break down items straight from the bat pod in the mission reward screen. This is the first of several quality of life changes that we have planned for our inventory system. So watch out for more info here in developer updates. So huge W. Huge. Holy. I don't know how many. If you've been playing this game, you've been watching me stream, you know how many times I've been complaining about this. What's up? What's up? What's up, Black King? What's up, Jazz? Bruh, how many times have I been telling them, yo, why can't we break down gear from the mission complete screen? Why do we have to go into the inventory and loadouts, find the new gear, go through it, sort, and delete what we don't need? Why can't we just do it from the mission complete? So that's something that's changing in episode 2. And there's some more quality of life changes coming related to inventory. So hopefully that's their way of saying, oh, by the way, we're going to give you more space. Because if they've been listening to that feedback, then they definitely know we want more inventory space. Because we for sure need more inventory space. We're definitely running low, but that is a W. There are more episodes. Yep, Eric. Yep, every season is broken down in 2 episodes. So season 1, episode 1 was the Joker. And season 1, episode 2 will bring in all of these changes, as well as the Two-Face and the Black Manta stuff, and a new mission, and a couple new missions, at least. We know there's one inside the Daily Planet, and there's a new Brainiac mission. But yeah, every season is divided into 2 episodes. They're also gonna start messing with mutators. Okay, so this is a big one. I haven't even read this yet, but mutators have been pretty trash so far. So first off, let's talk mutators. Our intent with these was to give just enough friction in the mastery level journey that you would want to reconsider your builds and push you into changing your tactics as you progress through the mastery levels. Some mutators were supposed to be less critical things, and some mutators, like the Venom Frenzy Immunity, was supposed to really push you into experimenting with new builds once you reach a certain mastery level. Essentially, we wanted to promote a more direct change in the meta to provoke new loadout configurations. It was more of a stick approach and less of a carrot. With episode 2, we're fundamentally changing our approach to these mutators. Rather than introducing friction to encourage build diversity, we're changing these to instead be gameplay bonuses. Each mutator in episode 2 will give you a window of opportunity to take advantage of his effects, and the gameplay benefit is something we want you to be able to build around. We don't expect you to be able to build around all 6 mutators. Realistically, we want you to find the 2 to 3 you really like that you can leverage with a build you like. These mutators are build enhancers. Our intent isn't that these will define your build, but rather some of them fit the build you want to run to make it more powerful. A couple of new mutators to illustrate this new approach are Desperation and Extra Fries. Desperation boosts your damage by 75% for every 10% of your shield missing, incentivizing a high-risk approach, high-risk, high-reward playstyle that works great with Bizarro's Undeath Ray and Hot Potato. Extra Fries grants players 1 combo for every critical hit on a burning enemy, allowing fire builds to get off to a blazing start. While these new builds offer a variety of buffs, you'll still have to build and play creatively to get their full benefit. Round of applause. They're learning, chat. They're learning. They're learning. Yes, Black King was not here. You missed the unboxing, but don't worry, I got it here. $100K subs. Silver YouTube play button. That sounds like they're actually learning. Yeah, like the essential problem we had with the mutators is that they were anti-fun. Instead of just making the builds, some or the gear or something you want to play, they were basically punishing you for using gear from last season, which is not the approach that you want. Like when I say this every time Looter comes out, you want to be buffing the player whenever possible. You don't want to be nerfing everything. If you want more build diversity, give people better options and incentives, not nerfing stuff is saying, oh, now you got to play the new. No, that's not how you do it. So W Rocksteady for learning. This is how the mutator should be. This is a better approach than just saying, okay, we're just gonna be really annoying and make you not use aspects of your build, or make an entire build not viable altogether. So starting in episode 2, they're going to have mutators that give you bonuses to your gameplay that can enhance your different playstyles. That's big W. Avengers never learned this lesson. So W, they're definitely listening. Okay, new Incursion mission mechanics. That's a big thing. People were asking for some more variety there. Let's see what they're cooking up here. Let's move on to our Incursion missions. Our original intent with these mission types was to give you all a known foundation, i.e. activity mechanics, and that the enemy types, infusion types, your character's traversal mechanics, and your build, weapon types, gear, affliction, etc., will provide the variety in terms of how you approach the encounter. That variety was then supposed to change up as you progress through the mastery level. With the introduction of mutators, your build would change, and that would be different for each Incursion mission as you progress through the mastery levels. Again, we're using more of a stick approach and less of a carrot, with friction into the system to encourage changing of builds and tactics. With the launch of episode 2, Lex 2 has done an analysis of the enemies in each of the Incursion encounters and will provide an aptly named Lex 2 enemy analysis bonus to help the squad out. Each new Incursion mission will each have its own analysis that identifies weaknesses on the enemies, and these weaknesses make different builds really shine. During his analysis of the mission Funny Pages, Lex 2 has discovered that burning enemies will take double damage from all sources. Time for the Joker to get out there and turn up the heat. And in Seaside Amusement, it seems the squad's critical hits will deal 150% more damage. If they build accordingly, they might actually stand a chance. See how you can use Lex 2's enemy analysis to your advantage in episode 2. So these are also basically kind of their Mutator approach, basically mission buffs. So for that one particular Incursion, you will have more of an incentive to run burn. For another one, you're going to opt into crits, so that's pretty good. Crafting recipes from previous episodes. Another quality of life feature for episode 2 will be adding crafting recipes for most of the legendary items you could find in Infinite Crisis in episode 1. Thank God. Now you can straight up craft them, even if you haven't received them as a loot drop. Oh, wow. That only applies to gear from previous episodes, so the latest and greatest loot is exactly where you'd expect in mission rewards. Oh, that is a W, because there's at least one piece of gear. There's a legendary that I wanted to get. It was a grenade, and I can't find it anymore. I pulled it, and then it just disappeared from inventory. And the crafting is extremely limited at Penguin. You can craft a very limited amount of legendaries. So this is a W. If we could craft all the stuff from the previous season, that's fire. That is fire. Obviously, we'll have to test this all out and see in the actual game update, but these are all good changes. Lower Prometheum costs for missions. In episode 2, we'll be doing a pretty big balancing change to all the Prometheum costs across Incursion missions, Mayhem missions, and Killing Time missions. This is the first step in a deeper review in our different currencies and their use, but is intended to cut down the time you spend gathering Prometheum before your squad can take on the more serious missions. Definitely a W. The main source of Prometheum is still raising hell. You get a whopping 3,000 Prometheum from completing the first tier, and an increasing amount for each tier. You also get a Prometheum from playing the Metropolis missions, taking out Cargonauts from your care packages and from contracts. Don't forget, you get a 50% XP boost for 45 minutes from the first Metropolis mission you complete. Each subsequent mission refreshes this timer, but to be efficient, you only really need to play Metropolis missions every 45 minutes. Definitely a W. I hope, in addition to lowering the Prometheum costs, because I don't really care about the Prometheum costs. If you do enough of those missions, you're going to have more than enough Prometheum. My issue is the build costs. When it comes to min-maxing your build, crafting, going into the Toy Man, getting your augments, that's way too expensive. That's the real problem. So hopefully that actually gets addressed. Ain't there yet. Additional invasion levels. With episode 2, we'll be adding an additional 3 invasion difficulty levels for Metropolis, each with unique rewards and XP and resource bonuses to address the feedback from y'all that Metropolis content is too easy when you're fully kitted out with a proper build. All these changes will be made in the patch shortly before the launch of episode 2. This will be the next patch for the game. Regularly looking forward to implementing these changes, and you hope your time elsewhere. Hope you enjoy your time elsewhere. Until then, Derek and the team. So big W's all around. That all of those changes are great. Love it. We just gotta wait and see how it actually plays out in the actual game. From experience, just because it looks good on paper doesn't mean it'll be good in practice. But these changes at least show that they're taking the right lessons from season 1 and all the feedback and are improving. Now, if only we can get some better cosmetics in the shop, we'll really be cooking. But I appreciate that they haven't abandoned the game, and they're at least trying to go through the feedback and be like, okay, clearly what we're doing wasn't working. This is what the players want. Let's make it a more enjoyable experience. So that's a W. They get an applause. One step forward. they get They get a golf clap. This is a much better blog than what they had the last couple weeks. This is what we need to see.
Of all the places to invade, Brainiac picks Metropolis.
I always give credit where credit is due. We have no problem letting them know when they're messing up, but that's why, and this is another thing, chat, is why I say it's important to give constructive feedback. Anybody can say, dead game, lazy devs, this sucks, blah, blah, blah. But you see what happens when you give constructive feedback?
You give me the heebie-jeebies.
When you give feedback that's not just, oh, dead game, blah, 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 that they can't do anything with that. But when you say, hey, this isn't working, this is why, boom, 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 you should do this, then they can be like, okay, let's look at that. All right, they're right. Let's see what we can do. And they'll be more willing to listen.
It does feel good to earn.
That's why all my criticism has been constructive. I say, okay, I don't like this. This isn't working. This is how they can improve it. These are the benefits of them improving it. So big shout out to Rocksteady for listening to the constructive feedback and actually making some good changes. So that is all coming in the new update, which is dropping. Oh, I got a lot of battle pass stuff. Holy. So yeah, this is all dropping in episode 2, which is basically part 2 of the Joker season. That's going to give us the Two-Face weapons, and there's going to be some Black Manta, all sorts of stuff. New missions, all the good stuff.
If I knew.
We just got some new drip for the Joke Man. I like that one. We'll switch to that. What's up, Biggie Bob? When silence is all you hear, a whisper is like a scream. Very poetic.
Could ricochet a bullet off that. Hit the support.
Streamers are ambassadors. Devs have to listen to them. They're a voice in a way. They have clans in Suicide Squad? Yes, they do. Unfortunately, the clan size is only 16. But yeah, if you you just saw me unboxing some rewards. So shout out to Durag Nation Clan. Because of your contributions, got some nice resources. But yeah, you don't have to listen to streamers for your game, but you should. You know, and that's not to say every streamer knows what they're talking about, but streamers are more tapped in to your game and your community, definitely more so than the executives. So it's definitely valuable to listen to what they have to say, because they're going to have had a lot of conversations, watched a lot of feedback from the community. They're going to have had a lot of hands-on experience playing the game. So it's very important to, you know, consider their input for sure. Especially since they'll more likely be able to like articulate, since they talk for a living, what they actually want and what should be done. Still playing Avengers. You love it. Chill. We actually played Avengers a couple weeks ago for the 100K special and for the Avengers Dead Game anniversary. Still a fun game. Update starts next month. It is a May update. New patch. New part of the season for the Joker. Every season will be divided into 2 episodes, so that's how it's going to work going forward. So we got episode 1 already with the Joker, and in May we're going to get episode 2 with all these new changes, as well as new content and gear. And based on a lot of these changes, it gives you a lot of ways to a lot of incentive to keep playing, which is another thing people were complaining about. Like, there's no reason to play. There's nothing to push towards. Well, now you're gonna have something. So now you have a reason. This is the Mayhem missions. These are basically the Brainiac ones. So now you have a reason to play these because you get a chance at really special gear. That's something that Lejeune was one of the people who said they should do something like this before launch. So now they got that. The invasion levels. We're currently playing on, of course, max level, invasion level 5. But, that's not really challenging anymore. Now, they're going to bump that up by 3 more and give you more bonuses and rewards for playing on that. So it's all W's. All W's. They gotta start cooking because SC2 cooking and the first Ascent is on the horizon. Oh, I don't care about Destiny at all, but the first Descendant, that game is gas. That is my pick for Destiny Killer. It's basically waifu Destiny. And I am here for it. Silly goose. Let's freeze time real quick. Took me a couple of seconds. You know how it's been a while since you played a game? It takes you a couple of seconds to remember the mechanics. That was me. But it's just like riding a bike. Once you get going, you remember. Someone looking for me? Where can you read the tire blog? It is on. You can go to Suicide Squad's website. It's in their community section. You can go on Twitter. Sadot the Gamer. I reposted it. You can also go on the Rocksteady Suicide Squad Code of Justice League Twitter account. They have shared that there as well. If you want to read the entire thing yourself. Is it true that Rivals will be free to play? Yes, Marvel Rivals is a free to play game. Free to play 6v6 PvP game. And it is indeed coming to console as well as PC. It will be on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC for Marvel Rivals. But the closed alpha next month is only for PC. Will be my main in First Ascendant. So during the beta, I was maining Bunny. But there was a guy I wanted to try out because he was like a tank and he was really good. But I immediately picked Bunny, not for waifu reasons, but she's a speedster. And you all know every time a game has a speedster, I gotta play. I gotta play with the speedster. In any game that has any kind of speedster, automatically I'm playing them. and I had a lot of fun with Bunny. Bunny is really good. Kyle, yeah, Kyle. I didn't get to unlock Kyle, but he looked really fun, and I wanted to get him. So when the game comes out, definitely rock it with Bunny, but I want to get Kyle as well. Peter Odin, my guy, congrats on that plaque. Huge accomplishment. Thank you, sir. How's the family? Did anyone pre-order Stellar Blade, and is anyone having issues redeeming the pre-order bonus? I did not. I don't know if anyone else has had any issues redeeming their Stellar Cake. I did not pre-order it. I did not order it at all. Thank you to the good folks at PlayStation for sending me a copy for free. All right, let's do some Raising Hell because I want to get some more Prometheum. By Odin's Fate. Is there... Where did you see it's coming to console? I've done like a bunch of content on that. Definitely check out my channel. I have a whole video specifically dedicated to Marvel Rivals coming to console on my YouTube channel. But it is indeed coming to console. Once you reach the open world, it'll be available. Pretty great Stellar Cake with the chill physics. Gotta talk to PlayStation or Shift Up. Yeah, might have to hit up customer service. Okay, you gotta kill 10 enemies in the part. I haven't gotten. I finally unlocked. I was playing Stellar Blade off stream, and I finally got a new costume. It is so hard to find outfits in that game. I finally got the Racer's High though. It was like the best costume in the demo that they let you get. So we gotta get juggle kills, affliction kills, suicide strike kills. Alright, let's go. And we gotta kill people in the park. Manifesting and adding cloak and dagger. Hopefully. I don't know what the monetization for First Ascendants is beyond the cosmetics. You might have to get... I know in the beta you can unlock characters, but pretty sure you were earning them. I don't know if that's going to change at launch. If you can buy characters. But as far as I know, it's cosmetics. Cosmetics for your waifus and your hifus. What's the waifu equivalent of guy characters?
Now this is rocket science.
What's the term for male character? What's the equivalent for that? Is there equivalent? I assume there has to be. The first, yeah, send it. Accurate.
You're so desperate to uncover every last trophy, the crowning achievement of your criminal career.
Powerfully completed. Outrage 3 more now.
See, we gotta kill Temp. Juggle kill one more.
Everybody shoot it!
Allow me.
Successful extraction, Task Force X. Let's see more of that.
Well, gotta hit sometime.
Too much direct kill. Match for over 20 minutes. I haven't heard anything about new content yet. Oh, so you missed. Oh, that's unfortunate. You missed the entire reading of the new update.
The job is done.
That is okay. I'd be more than happy to repeat it if you ask nicely. I went over, because I did in fact go over new content as well as the quality of life changes coming in episode 2. All right, we got the hit squad coming now. Got our raising hell tier complete. Equivalent of a waifu in VG is something like girly looking boyfriend. I mean, like, what's the term? Like, we already know the attractive female anime character is the waifu. What's the equivalent? What's the term for the attractive male anime character?
It's not a party without uninvited guests.
What's the term for that? If does one exist?
Let me snap you there.
A new target boomerang? Don't mind if I do.
Whee.
Your AO is now feeder free.
All right, his squad is out of there.
First squad.
For those just tuning in,
Harley, I can't believe
you missed a banger of an update. I read all the notes, all the info.
Thing like champs.
Basically, long story short, Suicide Squad confirmed their new update, new patch is episode 2. There's a patch coming right before episode 2 goes live next month, and it's coming with a ton of changes.
We have raised hell stridently.
In addition to new content, a ton of quality of life changes. So many.
let's shoot for the moon! And by moon, I mean the
I'm no xeno.
You should ask Sweet Baby about the male equivalent of waifu.
You're done.
They would probably object to the term waifu and call you a bigot. not in the anime at all, so you can't help you there. Also, there's probably not enough women who love anime to have coined a term like that. There's definitely more than enough. And don't forget the men who are attracted to men who enjoy anime. Yaoi is definitely a thing. A very thriving genre. It definitely exists. I probably just have to look it up. I don't have enough weebs in my chat. What's up, Alien? Alien knows. Alien is a lady who loves anime. She loves herself some beautiful 2D and 3D characters. She was a big Hawkeye enjoyer from what I remember of Marvel's Avengers. Could not stop thirsting over Hawkeye.
Brainiac's terraforming operation. You're leading the counterattack. Deliver a high
He was dying of thirst for Clint Barton. Which, valid. The simping I got, like, I understood the Black Widow, I understood the Kate Bishop. I never understood the Monica enjoyers.
Ah, there's the truck. Oh,
Monica is like the worst waifu.
I'm gonna name this truck Alex for all the
Baby
violence.
Bird is one of the sexiest in video games. Like, Monica was so, like, there was nothing interesting at all to me about Monica. I understand how people were so down bad for Monica. She's pretty, but that's all. I felt like she was a terrible character. And I was tired of having to fight her and deal with her nonsense all the time.
God inspect my facilities. I've sent a welcoming committee.
And she did my boy Bruce Banner dirty. It's hard enough for Bruce to find love
Time to paint this town.
because he turns into a rage monster. She gonna violate him like that? Unforgivable. Bruce deserved better. I'll never forget her for hurting my boy.
Got a weak spot on the tower. Be useful and hit it.
The Shelby DCO graphics. Didn't they just drop the? I heard they just dropped the next gen update like a couple weeks ago
I'm growing weary of their
for DC Universe Online. I haven't heard anything about it since. Did no one actually play it? Does it look better?
Brainiac's dropping a signal tower.
I forgot to re-download it, but I know for a fact that they dropped the new update finally, just out of nowhere.
That enemy's hitting your position really quickly. Priority kill.
I played DCUO, I think in 2023 for the first time. It was fun, but I was like, yeah, I definitely would love this game if it had like a real modern version.
Another blast from the skull ship. Stick to the payload.
Oh, Brainiac, mate, your signal tower's out.
Don't you make more problems for me right now. Shelter at the payload.
Like a modern version of DCUO for like a Marvel or DC game would be crazy. With like better updated graphics and combat, that would be sick. Doc Rummer, you better not be playing Hide the Zucchini. God, this zucchini is insane. Bruce definitely tapped, didn't he? He had to have, right? They were together for a while. Monica definitely seems like the type that would be that devious. Let Bruce hit to get him addicted. Then unveil your plan to create a bunch of Inhumans and use them to build an army to take over the world. And you know, fight off the Kree, which never ended up happening. Rest in power, the Kree invasion. So much potential. Clear them out real quick. You ain't jamming nothing over here. Alien, when are you going to stream? I know you're streaming Stellar. I know you got Stellar Blade. I know you couldn't resist. One of these days, I want to pop into an Alien Fodder stream, and I'm going to drop a raid. The culture needs it. Yoshi made it possible to play as two characters. True. So the character creator is good enough where you can, you know, basically create whoever you want. But that would be nice, for sure. Or you know what would have been great? Just an actual Justice League game.
How does he do it? It's psychopathic.
Warner Brothers should have made a live service Justice League game where you actually just play as the Justice League. It'd be like Avengers, but better. I feel like there would have been a lot of interest in that. You've been waiting forever. Same. Let us play as the Justice League, damn it. Why is that so hard? We just want a Justice League game would have been the best. Like, all the people who are complaining about not getting a Superman game would have got their Superman game.
You rise above your
All the people who wanted their Batman game would have got their Batman game. All the people who wanted their Flash game would have got their Flash game. They would have got everything in one game. Like, it would have been perfect. All the stuff they wanted, they would have had it in one game.
There will be no terror.
All those DC superheroes you wanted to play as.
No seaforming of mine.
But nope.
My self-preservation controls have been adjusted
Mobile gear symbiote detected. Sorry, I mean, Lieutenant.
Oh, I need one. Where's he at?
I love this part. One last hell-raising adventure on the
Oh, never know. We got the Cargonaut, so we just got to perform one counter. One counter. They're dying too fast. Seems like they're trying everything except a Justice League game. Heard they develop one. Yeah, like every time there's like one of these games, it ends up not just making out development, but like with the current technology, a Justice League game would go crazy. Got it.
you hope to accomplish by vexing me, Task Force X?
Which is why the Suicide Squad game is so confusing to me.
Careful what you wish for.
Because it felt like, because before people were like, assumed they weren't making a Justice League game, despite the success of DCUO, because they were afraid of Marvel's Avengers. Everyone was afraid of Marvel's Avengers. That's why Gotham Knights backed out of making a superhero game, a live service superhero game.
I love beating new.
Because they were afraid they were going to get compared to Avengers. They didn't want that smoke.
What's the brain?
But then we go ahead and get a live service superhero game anyway, but about the Suicide Squad, which is much riskier than a Justice League game.
This is the might of an earthling devil. It will be mine.
I never understood that. You may not care about that pointy-eared night rat. Like, yeah, give us a Justice League game. Because that's the beauty of it. Even if you don't like Batman, the idea would be that, okay, you still get a bunch of different heroes to choose from. So you can just play whoever you want to. You don't like Batman? Okay, you play with Superman. You don't like Superman? Play with Flash or Aquaman or Martian Manhunter or Shazam. A Justice League game would have had so much potential, and it would got more benefit of the doubt, I think. Like, Suicide Squad got hated on from the very beginning because of the concept. A shooter based on Suicide Squad. if it was like an Avengers version of the Justice League, yeah, you would have had some people be like, oh, here we go, Marvel's Avengers again. But most people would have gave it a chance because they're like, oh wow, I get to play as Batman, I get to play as Superman.
Would I kill you to congratulate me?
Sign me up.
I see me fall incoming.
I definitely would have been right there. That's all I wanted them to do.
You bagged the target? Good. Secured for the scan.
Guess Des need to stop using B-level heroes. And that's the thing. You can make a game with like you could go for it. I mean, DC has more flexibility. That's why,
I don't want to be.
like, I understand why people would be hesitant for a Marvel game, because making a Marvel game is really risky because you gotta license it, and Disney is really little greedy with the licensing fees. You know, they want their cut. They want a lot of money. DC is like just the normal. There's just the normal risk associated with development costs because they don't have to pay a license fee. They own the IP, so it's not that risky for Disney, for Warner Brothers to say, oh, let's make a Constantine game or let's make a Green Arrow game. But with something like a Justice League game, that's also a great opportunity to introduce some other characters. Obviously, you know, you want to prioritize the heavy hitters for you know, the base roster, but that's what DLC's for. You know, Avengers, you know, they had their vision. They said, okay, we're giving you the Avengers, but you know, you're gonna give you Thor, we're gonna give you Hulk, we're gonna give you Iron Man. But have you heard of Kamala Khan? You know, it didn't hit for everybody, but a lot of people found out about Kamala Khan for the very first time because of Avengers, and a lot of them walked away fans of the character.
Get back in that fight, or you'll lose more than that.
Like, you could do your Justice League game, and then you can introduce lesser known characters as DLC. That's the beauty of that type of game.
Are you tracking ahead of us? Or are my units tracking behind?
I'm all about letting some other characters shine, but, you know, commonplace.
Time for the nerds to weaponize this intel, and you to holster those guns for a hot minute.
You really like my video on what a good Justice League game could be like? Oh yeah. Yeah, just check out my YouTube series, Perfect Game Pitches. Yeah, that was a fun one. I'm working on my new one. I still have to finish it. I still have to finish the script and do all the video stuff, but my follow-up video is coming for Perfect Game Pitches. It is coming. I'm doing Daredevil next.
I just don't like seeing others succeed. Nothing personal.
Suicide Squad is a third-person shooter. Third-person looter shooter. Kill 30 enemies with grenades.
Beginning our descent.
You could throw in movement, I guess, as well.
It's not bloodlust. It's blood.
Since movement is a big part of the game.
Harley, let's make this a target to remember.
Ah, I love explosions. He's out of there. See the clip of that unreleased Justice League game. Yep. It's always there's a lot of interesting games that never ended up coming to be.
It's an ugly job, and most
I remember there.
be the ones doing it.
I'm sad we didn't get it didn't get far enough along for us to get footage, but there's supposed to be a Batman game for the Nolan verse. Definitely interesting idea. A Nolan Batman verse game. The movie doesn't quite hold up. But I'd be curious of how that Batman game would have turned out. How it would have compared to the sea of other Batman games.
Did you? Ground control back. No, I do not want to know how you did it.
Disney's like Goodfellas when it comes to license fees. True, except for Epic, they decided to invest in Epic Games, so I think they're not
See what we've got for you.
giving Epic the business when it comes to license fees. I think they invested like $1 billion something into Epic Games. Now, if Epic wants to create some Marvel games, that could be crazy. We all meme Fortnite, but it's very successful, and that's a good infrastructure. If they had like if you've seen some of the Fortnite gameplay lately too with the special abilities, I see the vision. An open world Marvel game built in Unreal Engine 5 by Epic with their Fortnite aesthetic. Or even within Fortnite, with no guns, just special abilities. You've got PvE. I don't know. That might be something. That might cook. Unreal. I don't know if we're up to Unreal 6 yet. I think they're up to what 5.4 for Unreal. I can't imagine it. People haven't fully optimized Unreal 5 yet. Fully. Unreal 6 would be insane. We don't need to go all the way yet. We just need people to fully take advantage of Unreal 5. How's the Guardians of the Galaxy coming out? After that, you felt the game should have been way bigger. Yeah, it's a shame. Actually, I didn't do an update on this yet. But the Embracer Group is they made a move. They're breaking up into 3 different companies that are going to focus on different areas. They're going to have one that focuses. They're going to have one branch that focuses on like AAA stuff. They're going to have one focus on Lord of the Rings. But if you were hoping for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the Embracer Group is the reason that's doesn't seem to is going to be happening. They ruined that one. They ruined it. Pretty much any chances of that happening. Because Eidos at first was working on a new Deus Ex game, but you know during the embracing, they canceled the Deus Ex game and laid off a bunch of people at Eidos Montreal. So I think I gotta double check. I think they moved Eidos. I think Eidos is underneath the branch of Embracer that's going to be focusing on Tomb Raider. So they might be acting it. So I'm pretty sure that's where they moved them. So Eidos is going to be, I think, back to working as a support studio for Crystal Dynamics, which they did for Marvel's Avengers. Funny enough, they did some support work for Avengers while working on Guardians. Rumors that they're going to file for bankruptcy. It's definitely possible. I mean, they've done everything else. They fired a lot of people, closed a bunch of studios, canceled dozens of projects, sold some of their biggest studios. They've done it all, except bankruptcy. What an absolute disaster, though. And the CEO confirmed that he's not stepping down.
I'm on a killing spree.
In an announcement where he reminded people that he promised to be there for like 20 years or something. Which is insane. Their strategy was insane. Like, it's amazing that he's not resigning. Like, they were like, okay, we're gonna buy everything with no regard to financial upside, and we're gonna hope that Saudi Arabia bails us out. Like, remember, Embracer Group actually bought the rights to the Lord of the Rings. Not the games. The actual Lord of the Rings. They just bought the rights. You would think they would have been like ready to drop a bunch of Lord of the Rings content. They were not. They did not. I was like, what, $400 million they spent on Lord of the Rings?
A big target from a big shark. I'm there.
They were literally just throwing money away. Embracer is a dope. I remember when people had hope that they would save Marvel's Avengers after they bought Eidos and Crystal Dynamics from Square. Those were the days. Which kind of tells you about the state Avengers was in financially. Or even Embracer with all their terrible decision making. even they didn't try to salvage Marvel's Avengers. They just, which I don't blame them after having a meeting with Brian Wagner. Holy, my build is destroying the frame rate. If I had to sit through a meeting with Brian Wagner, hearing him pitch, I probably would have been like, nah, as well. But after all the terrible business decisions they made, the one thing Brian Wagner couldn't convince them to do was keep Avengers going. They listened to that pitch and was like, nah. We're gonna pat. That's gonna be a no from me, dog. How bad was that pitch? I kind of wish I was there for it, or we could hear what they pitched. We need some leaks. I want to know what the pitch to Embracer was from Crystal Dynamics for the Avengers game, because it had to be bad if even Embracer said no. Because they, at the time, they didn't say no to anything. If there was an IP they could acquire, they were acquiring it. And I know they weren't uninterested because they confirmed they had conversations with Marvel. So I know they were having discussions about it. Maybe it was a combination of Wagner's pitch and those licensing fees. But that's why EA said they don't want to do license stuff anymore with Disney, and they're not doing Star Wars stuff anymore. Disney be going crazy with those licensing fees. And they want to cut on top of it, of all your revenue. Look at all these snipers. Absolute silly. We're gonna specifically take out all the snipers for our last ones. Remember Giant Rocket saying Embracer wouldn't keep Avengers because of the licensing costs? He was spot on. Me and Johnny were both right about the death of Avengers. I was right about when it was going to die. And Johnny was right about Embracer not being interested. And I agreed with Johnny. Because I had faith that maybe they would consider it if they saw there was enough interest in it. Especially since they didn't outright confirm or deny it either way. But after that second quarterly earnings broadcast, the one where we stayed up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to watch, when they did that second one, where they actually had presentations with their different studios, including Crystal Dynamics and Atlas Montreal, and that's when they actually acknowledged Avengers and showed off and just promoted the Winter Soldier DLC. When I watched that presentation and I saw how they completely avoided talking about the future of Marvel's Avengers, I was like, oh, it's cooked. Oh, it's cooked. Because they had nothing but good things to say about Guardians of the Galaxy. They were talking about the future of what Crystal Dynamics is doing in terms of Tomb Raider, Legacy of Kain. All they had to say for Avengers was, there's a Winter Soldier DLC coming out. Go check that out. Anyway, I was like, oh, we're so excited for Atlas Montreal. We have new stuff working with them on. They're excited about Guardians of the Galaxy. It's doing very well. You know, blah. They had all this good to say. For Avengers, they had no compliments. They just said, "Hey, Avengers Winter Soldier DLC was October 29th. Go check it out." I was like, "Oh, Lee, no, this game's done. This game is actually cooked." They are actually done with this game. Johnny's cool people, 100%. Shout out to the Rocker Squad. Heard there was a rumor of Scarlet Witch. Not a rumor. I don't know about it being added instead of Winter Soldier, but Scarlet Witch was very much in development. Scarlet Witch was it. So this will probably make you bet. If Avengers had survived, if it hadn't shut down when it did, we would have had She-Hulk, Captain Marvel in the Kree invasion,
Industrious little suckers.
and the next hero after She-Hulk was Scarlet Witch. That's who they were working on for the follow-up to Captain Marvel and the Kree invasion. And that definitely bums me out. Because even if the game delisted, I'd still be playing it if Scarlet Witch and Captain Marvel and She-Hulk were in the game. I would still be playing Avengers. Just for fun. I beg your finest pardon, you could have had magic. Scarlet Witch was in development. They were planning for Doctor Strange too, but Scarlet Witch was next after Captain Marvel. They were legitimately working on Scarlet Witch. Concept art exists.
Well. If it isn't an opportunity for mayhem.
But unfortunately,
Like a refreshing spritzer.
game died. Wagner got himself fired, and that was it. As soon as Wagner got fired, the game was basically done. They was like, "No, we're not even going to buy it. Not even going to bother to find a new head dev. We're just calling it." And I think that could have been a factor to pitch, because Avengers, as you know, despite all the problems, Avengers still had potential. Like, they figured out, you know, first of all, how to make money by giving people cosmetics that they wanted. They had figured out the DLC thing because they were doing Scarlet Witch, though they were giving people DLC characters that they wanted. They literally just needed someone with a little oversight to be like, "Hey, this is how you do a live service game. You know, you figured it out with the skins. You know, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that, make sure you're communicating, make sure you're prioritizing this stuff to maximize player enjoyment." They could have still made money. There was still very much a market for Avengers. People were just waiting for it to be better. They wanted to like it, because the core combat was great. But maybe Embracer were just like, "Yeah, we just can't justify the cost, and we don't have faith in them." It definitely needed somebody that like really was in the trenches and understood the vision. Because from the outside looking in, it made no sense whatsoever to want to invest in Avengers. Definitely looking forward to episode 2. I had full disclosure. I completely forgot about Suicide Squad. Now I have a game backlog. I've been playing, you know, Helldivers. I've been playing a lot of, you know, now Stellar Blade. We just got that. You know, I've been playing that. I wasn't even thinking about Suicide God. I would like occasionally see stuff like J Shock Labs will make videos about, you know, what are they doing? Why aren't they updating the shop? What, you know, what's the plan? And I'd be like, oh yeah, that game. Yeah, did they just give up? But this episode 2 update is fire. Well, we'll see how it is from a technical standpoint. But the quality of life changes are definitely a big step in the right direction in terms of like understanding, not only just listening to the community, but also understanding what the problems of the game actually are and actually trying to address them. So I give them all the credit for that.
I've been looking for.
Now, if only we get an update on the marketplace.
There is something different. You had a haircut?
Still need the stack deck. Oh yeah, I definitely recommend it. And they need better. Yeah, and yeah, that's the other thing that cooked Avengers from the start. They should, and that was definitely a publisher problem. They could have built Avengers in Unreal Engine, but the issue is that Unreal Engine isn't free. So they didn't want to cut in Epic Games on any of those profits. So they were like, who needs Unreal Engine? You got your own engine, right? You got your own proprietary engine foundation, right? You did that for Tomb Raider. That's fine. It should be fine for a multiplayer game. This single player engine, it was not. And the hilarious thing is that, which shows this was definitely such a boneheaded and short-sighted decision. The new Tomb Raider game, which started development under Square, switched to Unreal Engine. They did Avengers in Foundation because of the Tomb Raider engine, because they were like, oh, it's fine, we'll save money, it'll be all right. We don't want to spend that extra money. We want to keep as much money as possible. And then you end up using it anyway. you end up using Unreal Engine anyway for your Tomb Raider game. Like, it was so ridiculous. So now Avengers is stuck with an inferior engine that doesn't work and is limiting everything they can do, while the new Tomb Raider game is getting built in Unreal 5. I'm like, bro, how does this happen? Probably the goofiest thing in the Avengers saga that doesn't get talked about enough. You're on vacation and you're missing Suicide Squad? That's crazy. Enjoy the vacation, my friend. When you come back, I don't know when you're coming back, but next month we'll have a whole new game. Kind of. Well, not really, but a lot of changes to the game.
How would you like?
Hopefully to the store as well, though. Like, this ain't it. The cardboard box outfits. Those are not hitting. British Shenanigans, appreciate that raid. But where are the Gentleman Ghost outfits? I don't even see the Gentleman Ghost. Where are the Gentleman Ghost fits? Those are the last new skins they added. And they were more like recolors. There they are. Gentleman Ghost. which are basically color swatches of the Arkham outfits with the hat and monocle. And now these could have been dope. Greetings, hope you're well. Appreciate you for the raid, my friend. These could have been. Now, obviously, a Gentleman Ghost is definitely a deep cut, but they could have made these dope. Like they could have, like, first of all, he's Gentleman Ghost, so Harley should be wearing like a evening gown here, and then you have the ghostly, you know, swatch on top of that, throwing the monocle, and I'm like, okay, Gentleman Ghost is a deep cut, but at least it's something that's cool. But this is just like, oh, let's just take the prison outfits and just ghost them up a bit. Meanwhile, no movie skins. And these are the only comic skins. The classics. And we still don't even have Green Lantern King Shark. That's crazy. Sadly, all your builds and Avengers are amazing. Too bad they didn't make it. Yeah, I very much enjoy my time with Avengers. I'll definitely from time to time pop in. That's why I refuse to uninstall it. So I'll occasionally pop in, run a little bit. Reminds me of Avengers cosmetic. It was in the beginning, because for all you old heads who remember Avengers, the first year, I say, like at least the first 6 months, one of the complaints, and let me know if you were really an Avengers old head. So this was like within the first couple of months, there were no comic skins, there were no MCU skins, and people are like, yo, what's up with the cosmetics in this game? Why are they terrible? Because it's an Avengers game. They were like, the skins were like $15 a piece. There were no movie skins. There were no comic accurate skins. And the skins that they had in the shop were trash. And people are like, yo, what's going on? And some of the die-hard Avengers shills were like, stop complaining. Why do you always care about the MCU? It's not all about the MCU. You don't need MCU skins. This was a thing. This is one of many reasons why you should never, ever listen to Reddit. Never, ever take a subreddit for a game seriously. But people were actually shilling so hard that they argued against MCU skins. But of course, the sales didn't lie. People were not buying those dog order skins. So the following year, they finally started rolling out MCU skins. And then the comic skins. And surprise, surprise, they made a lot more money. Yeah, as good as the Suicide Squad blog was today, skins was the one thing they didn't mention. Which I understand why they wouldn't. You know, optics.
You're too late to stop what's happened here, Earthlings. And soon.
My issue with their cosmetics is more like a business thing. And I know a lot of players right now don't care about the business side of things.
A derivative spectacle, Joker. I've seen this.
So yeah, it was definitely the right move to focus on, you know, all the gameplay improvements and stuff like that. Quality of life stuff that people want. But the cosmetics are definitely a problem that they need to address. But that didn't require like an in-depth, you know, blog post about or whatever. That's just something on their end where it's just like, okay, yeah. Clearly, our strategy here isn't working. We need to figure out a way to get cosmetics in the shop more frequently. And just better ones. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that they make the actual game itself better and more enjoyable for the players.
You should kill everything in sight.
We took this fella on the rock, Sharky.
Once they add a bunch of quality of life stuff,
Give me a second.
get the game in a good place, yeah, we can talk about cosmetics some more.
We're all back and mad at meat sacks.
Let's facilitate, pals. That's what Lex put him here for.
Got the infinite ammo popping off.
Store this affliction burst up or use it now. Choices, choices. Sometimes I amaze even myself.
Don't worry about Lawless. You should be worried about season 2 as well. What do you mean you're worried about season 2? At least that season has Gotham. Yeah, like Lawless is, you know, is not going to get a lot of people in the door. Like, oh man, I can't wait to play Lawless. But you got to at least that's going to be on the Gotham map. At least they can market the Gotham map. How are they going to market Mrs. Freeze? That's going to be rough. They're never going to beat those sweet baby allegations either. After they drop Mrs. Freeze, but still,
All my plants are growing again. Let's get germinated.
the Joker was like their big opportunity to get a bunch of players in, and unfortunately, they didn't take advantage of it.
All numb.
Like, that's why those quality of life changes are going to be so important. Because are people going to be excited to try out, you know, Mrs. Freeze? Not really. I'm excited from a gameplay perspective because I heard her traversal is really cool. But if you're like on the fence or you're casual about the game or you're not sure about it, like, why would you be excited to play as Mrs. Freeze on a ice version of Metropolis? Now her gameplay might be great, but from a marketing standpoint, you got an uphill battle.
Poor plant baby. Have to till my friends do their job.
I'll definitely keep an open mind because I think her gameplay is going to be cool. Definitely looking forward to the traversal. Oh, if you're a casual, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be a hard sell.
I'm doing it all for the laughs, pals.
That's gonna be a hard sell.
My plant baby isn't responding. They've trapped it. Yes! New life! Oh, except for the aliens. They'll die horribly.
All right, we just cleared Ivy. You're waiting for the Superman game? You're going to be waiting a while, my friend. Hopefully we get that announcement soon. But best case scenario,
I want to say I'm
absolute best case scenario, the secret game WB has been working on since 2022 or 21 is Superman, and they have it ready to go by 2025 when around the time the movie is coming out. That's our absolute best case scenario here, which I'm not too confident in terms of timeline, because the last I heard, WB Games Montreal, we're still working on the game, but they don't have a creative director because Patrick left the company after Gotham Knights. They left. I think a bunch of them just left like at the same time last year. So they still don't have a new creative director for this new game. But an announcement would be great. Look at the Superman game before news on Wonder Woman at this point. Definitely not. No, Wonder Woman, I think it's definitely coming out next year. I think we're going to get the Wonder Woman update during the Summer Game Fest season or the Game Awards. But yeah, Wonder Woman is for sure on pace. Not only that, W Games Montreal, they're not all going in on whatever DC game they're working on right now. They're actually split. You have one team that's working on this DC game, which might be Superman, and the other half is working on it as a support studio for Monolith to help them with Wonder Woman. So we're definitely getting the Wonder Woman game first. For sure. I feel like best case scenario, Superman game, we're being realistic here. If they are working on a Superman game, we're probably seeing it in 2026. You understand people who mod and make games better? Why aren't they hiring them? Well, because modding is very different. It's much easier to mod an already established game. Like, there is value in some modders. Like, some modders have the skills to be a game developer. Many do not. And a lot of them aren't really doing anything that they can't do themselves. Like, realistically, if you're looking at modders, like, apart from, like, the Skyrim guys, you really don't need most of these modders. Like, the best ones are kind of like, you want to look at are like kind of the designers, because you're always on the lookout for good designers, like a Rock Rider, for example. You know, he's not a modder, but he'll come up with he'll do like really cool character posters. He'll make really good he'll like see a skin, like for example, the Miles Morales Adidas suit. He designed a better version of it, you know, in response to the backlash, you know, just all in, you know, fun, just to show a version that he would prefer. So having someone like him, it would make sense to hire, because he's like a designer that translates. Modding doesn't translate for the most part. Yeah, like the amount of modders who translate to like actual game dev are pretty small. Like, from what I've seen, pretty much the best modders tend to be working on with the Bethesda stuff. And I think Bethesda they've done mod support, but they've also worked with some people. Like, yeah, most of the mods you see that get published, the people who created it, they're not doing anything like special that anyone that works on the game can't do. But being in a studio environment is also very different, because when you're modding, for one thing, again, keep in mind, the game is already built. like the assets are pre-made. The game exists. They don't have to worry about anything else except modding what's already there. It takes skill and creativity, but the base that you're working on is something that took years of work and millions of dollars to put together. And then they're just coming in and tweaking it. Like, okay, now this is like, they're not working. They don't have to deal with section heads. They don't have to deal with bureaucracy. They don't have to worry about budgets. They don't have to worry about time constraints. They don't really have to worry about bug fixes. They don't have to worry about, how it translates on. They don't have to worry. They're really just doing it for fun. So I'll always make sure people keep that in mind when they big up modders. Yeah, there are some very talented modders out there, but always keep in mind, modding is much easier than actual game development, and being able to mod, even animation translates better, like fan animation. Like there's some really good channels that do like really good fan animation for stuff like Dragon Ball and One Punch Man and stuff like that. But even then, you keep in mind, most of that stuff is good for like YouTube, but it's a different matter when you have to work with other people. You're dealing with budgets and deadlines and mandates from your execs and mandates from the source material, and you got something, you got to deal with the legal department. They say you can't have this because of this reason. There's a lot more that goes into working it like on a professional scale. So just keep that in mind when it comes to the modders and the fan community. They have skill. A lot of them have skill. It's important. It's cool work, but it's a different beast to actually work in the industry itself and work on these projects. And getting to do it from the comfort of your own home, stress-free for the most part. No oversight, no overhead, nothing stopping you. Just understand that. Like, shout out to the game devs. High Ruler actually has a special job on these projects. It's literally his job. He was actually hired by WB to do this. Every time Rocksteady, makes some progress on any aspect of the game, his job is to just look at it and just hate on it. The idea is that they wanted to kind of desensitize developers from dealing with toxic gamers. So they hire High Ruler to go in and just be himself, basically, and just be as toxic as possible. That way, when the game gets released and everything like that, and they start seeing the backlash on social media, they don't respond to it as strongly because they've gotten used to it due to all the hate that High Ruler has been spreading. It's a very important job that High Ruler is doing, and I thank you for your service. I'm glad that High Ruler was able to make spreading hate into something of value. To see you in the boardroom at 9 a.m. on a Monday, you made a few tough people cry. I believe it. No one spreads hate quite like High Ruler. He was mentored by the best. All right, now I'm gonna go for real, because I have not eaten yet, and I got to get ready for the podcast tonight. But we're going to talk more Suicide Squad on the pod, and of course, Stellar Cake, the biggest new game in the world. And I think I'm gonna stream some Fallout. I downloaded Fallout. I've been meaning to hop on for the first time, see what all the fuss is about. So we're gonna play some Fallout. I got 4. I'm gonna start out on 4 and see how I like it. Thanks for hanging out once again. And big shout out to all my YouTube fam. We got the 100K play button. Appreciate all the support. I'm Sadot the Gamer, signing out.